Hello, Pisces. This is Tarot Reader Bree, your psychic BFF, and I am here to do a reading for September 2025 for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you have never been to this channel before, you don't know who I am, I started out on Facebook about 9 years ago. I moved to TikTok in about 2021, and I am just now starting to attempt to get my YouTube channel going. I'm used to doing a lot shorter form content, and this is going to be my first attempt at doing a longer reading, so please bear with me. I am also a Pisces, Sun, Rising, and Venus. And so I felt like I would be most comfortable starting out with you guys. So let's start by getting a couple of oracle cards to see what the theme of September is going to be for you. Let's see. As for guidance from my spirit guides, angels and archangels, past loved ones and ancestors, please guide my hands, my thoughts, and my words. Help me deliver the message to be heard. All right. The first card I have for Pisces is... it's called Blossoming. It's card number 33 from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. Let's start and just see what the book has to say about this card. In the country in which I live, there really aren't a lot of meadows. That classic kind of gently rolling open space, often between a forest or mountains. This kind of space whispers to you, "Here, rest a while. Lay down, my friend, it's soft." The first true meadow I saw was in Yosemite National Park in the United States. It was early spring, the snows had pretty much stopped, and nature had taken her opportunity. In front of me, as far as I could see, was a green meadow of grasses, covered in blossoming flowers. It was so beautiful, it almost made me cry. I just stood there for a long while, taking it all in. It felt so hopeful and new and joyful, so I felt hopeful and renewed and joyful. I walked into the meadow and was soon surrounded by this blossoming. The flower fragrance drifted up with the breeze. There was a dusting of pollen on my clothes. I could hear the contented buzzing of a few insects. In that moment, I was so grateful to be a part of the meadow. Anything seemed possible here. There is a time to blossom. We plant seeds, metaphorically and physically, so that they will blossom into what we intend. Perhaps the journey has been a long and hard one, but we shouldn't give up, especially if we're close. Fear is usually the thing that prevents flow and blossoming. Fear of failure, fear of success, fear of change, fear of what people think. I could go on, but know if we can release the useless fears and begin to enjoy our growth and eventual blossoming, it will be worthwhile. Okay, so Pisces, I see that with this card that in the month of September, you're going to be blossoming in some area of your life. You're finally able to really show off your talents. With this girl here, she's playing the violin. I feel like she's center stage, and that's where you're going to see yourself in the month of September. You're going to have a lot of eyes on you, and you're going to be able to attract a lot of attention. With the card being number 33, 33 is a master number in numerology. It stands for the master teacher. And so there is a possibility here that you could be blossoming into a teacher type role or a leader type role where you are either either you're going to be actually teaching the person or other people, or you are going to be setting an example for other people so that they know how to act. Let me get another card, another oracle card from a different deck to see if I can get a little bit more information on the theme of September for you. This card I'm pulling from the Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle deck. And here we have gold. Card number 36. You don't need someone else to fix you. I love this card because it's got this little broken cup that she fixed with gold. I can't remember what they call that in like Japanese culture, but I always thought that that was really cool that they fixed their like broken china and stuff with gold to kind of highlight the cracks. Okay, what I'm hearing is like it highlight. You're going to be highlighting the cracks in yourself. Like you're going to be exposing some things that you may have been leery to expose before. I mean, and like we're not talking physical here. Like you're not going to be exposing your physical body, but like you're exposing your flaws. And in doing this, you're going to give other people hope and make them feel like they aren't alone. 36. Let me look and see what the book has to say about this card. Someone is trying to convince you that you're broken beyond repair, unless you accept their helping hand, of course. If someone offers to fix some part of you, it's not because they're being selfless or kind. They know that you're in a vulnerable place, and they want to make you entirely dependent on them. Tell them, no thank you, and know exactly how to put the gold in your own cracks. So there's also a possibility with this card that you could not be exposing those flaws of your own accord. It could be that someone else is going to take it upon themselves to point out your flaws. And what you need to concentrate on is knowing that is not letting that get to you. I keep being drawn to the fact, okay, so we have this blossoming card, but if you see out her window, she has all these flowers blossoming as well. So, so it's like when she's inside and she's holding this broken cup and she's concentrating on this broken cup filled with her flaws and her trauma and all the negative things that she might associate with herself. And just outside this window, which is open and easy for her to go out of if she wanted to, is this blossoming bush of flowers. And that blossoming bush of flowers represents the best version of herself. So what this is telling me is that all you really have to do to blossom into that best version of yourself is to stop concentrating on the negative and what you may have done wrong. Like, stop overthinking things and stop putting all your focus on your flaws and your negative traits. All right, next I'm going to pull a few cards just to see how the month is going, get a little bit of detail about what you might expect in September. Okay. Just shuffling the cards here. I don't really have room to shuffle on camera, so I hope that's okay. All right, the first card we have is the Hierophant, and interestingly enough, we have this flower symbolism that's continuing. With the Hierophant, very often this is a card that is about tradition and if you see these two guys right here, they're being initiated into like some type of society or religion or hang on one second. I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to like unjumble the words from my brain, but so there could be some type of initiation going on for you in the month of September. This doesn't have to be something that's like formal. It could be a metaphorical initiation, but another thing that the Hierophant is telling you is that you need to stop worrying about following along with the crowd. Stop trying to fit in. Because the more that you try to fit in, the more of yourself that you lose. And also with this Hierophant, I'm getting this very like polished version that you present to the world. And that's actually going to end up holding you back. Just like in this previous card, where she is kind of holed up inside of her home with her flaws. You can blossom, flaws and all. You have the ability, and actually it would be beneficial for you in some way if you were just open with your flaws and your mistakes and your regrets. That openness and that ability to be vulnerable is actually going to be really beneficial for you, and it could help other people to accept their own flaws and their own issues in a more gentle and loving way. All right, the next card we have is the Four of Cups. I love this card. It reminds me of that meme where the person looks like they're drowning, but underneath you can see that they're only in like a couple of feet of water. The Four of Cups generally indicates someone who is disappointed with the way things have gone, but they are not seeing another opportunity being offered to them because they are so focused on the negatives. So just like in this picture here, she feels like she's like drowning in this sea of people, in this crowd. Like, I'm getting that you are, you're struggling to find your unique identity. And you're struggling to show yourself to the world. It's like you don't feel like you fit in. And whenever you put yourself into this group or into a whenever you show yourself to the public, you feel like you don't really belong or that you don't fit in. But you're trying too hard to fit into an arena that isn't really for you. You weren't made to blend in with the crowd. You're made to stick out. And it's because you have such this unique ability and these unique talents. So in the month of September, I do see that you could be finding yourself getting overwhelmed in a crowd. So if you think you're going to like a crowded place and you have anxiety issues, you might want to keep that in mind. But more so, I feel like you kind of feel like you get lost in the hubbub of things sometimes. Let's see what else I got. I'm going to pull one more card from the tarot deck. And it is the 8 of Swords. With the 8 of Swords, often this indicates that there's some type of fear or anxiety that is holding you back. But it's because she's blindfolded, that she is blind to what her real circumstances are, and she can't really tell that she definitely has the ability to maneuver her way out of any issues that she's going through. All I can think of is when I was in like 10th grade and had to dissect a frog. That's all I can think of. So I was just talking to my daughter about this the other day. In 10th grade, I had to dissect a frog. It was like worth 500 points of our total grade. It was worth like a huge chunk. And I did the paper, I removed all the organs, I put them on the sheet, blah, blah, blah. It took a week of class, and at the end of the day, I did not get a grade at all. The teacher gave me a 0 just because I had forgotten to write my name on the paper that he actually went around and checked. So, and in my head, I've always been like, oh, what a jerk move, that guy. I failed the dissection. I failed the entire 10th grade science class because I did not write my name on that paper, and that was his fault. But looking back as an adult and in this reading right now, I can honestly say that it wasn't as if the expectations that he had were not communicated to me. I knew that if I didn't write my name on my paper, I wasn't going to get the grade that I was going to get a 0. Like, that was something he always did with all of our paperwork. So I knew that this wouldn't be any different. But it's sometimes easier to blame somebody else or your circumstances for your own mistakes. And I think that that's the message that's coming through right now, is that Pisces, in the month of September, you're going to need to own up to and recognize your own mistakes and take responsibility for them, or else you're just going to be stuck in this perpetual state of just pointing fingers at other people and never progressing. All right, I'm going to pull one last card from the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck, just as I don't know if you guys hear that loud truck driving down the road. Excuse me. But the last card I have for you is called Purity, and it's the Snow Moon. Let's get the book and read this card. The word purity now seems to have a kind of loaded moral quality. Anytime I mention the word, people mostly think about how it's used in religions or in morals, for example. The purity of virgins, the purity of no sex before marriage, the purity of celibacy, the purity of bloodline of certain extreme right-wing groups. No wonder we use the word with some trepidation. The purity that is referred to here is the purity of the silver moon on the unmarked snow. The simple purity of intention that nature demonstrates. The purity of clean water in a mountain stream. The purity of one single purpose. The Cambridge Dictionary defines this kind of purity as being clean or free from harmful substances. And I guess in our world that's so full of pollution and damage to the environment, that may well be hard to find. However, the ancients looked at the cycles that brought snow and ice as a sort of reset button, a time when everything lay fallow for a while and brought with it a kind of simplicity. These times were hard, but if we were prepared for them, we would survive. There are good reasons to strive for a kind of positive purity in our lives. Being precise with our language and as clear as we can be in our communications means fewer miscommunications and misunderstandings in our relationships and work life. Keeping our intentions pure and untainted with lower energies, such as jealousy, revenge, or unworthiness, as much as possible means that our motivations are purer and not muddy in their reasoning. So, this card as advice is telling you a few things. First of all, it's telling you to be as clear as possible in your communications with other people this month. There's a tendency, especially for Pisces, to be a little vague and muddy when they communicate with others. That's because we're like the whole picture kind of people, and it's sometimes hard to pick out the details. Another thing that I think this card is trying to say is to always look for the simple solution and try not to overcomplicate things. Yeah. Okay, and for the last thing I want to do is I wanted to mention any dates that I see that might be significant in the month of September for you. So I definitely think that the 3rd through the 6th, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those days are going to be significant in some way. Also, the 8th and the 22nd. Yeah. Okay, those are the days that I see. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 8th, and 22nd. That first week is going to be super significant. Yeah. Okay, but thanks guys for listening to me fumble my way through my first long reading. I hope it was even a little bit understandable. I hope that I was able to bring some comfort, confirmation, or clarity to you about the month of September. And I appreciate that your support, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.